Hi guys, Assalamu alaikum. This is Arif. In this video, we are going to see how we can add the elements at the beginning and at the end of a singly linked list. First in a C++ program, and then we are going to do that in a C# program. And we are going to implement this program using our own defined lists as well as the lists given in the libraries. So this is a C++ program first. Here I have included four libraries: iostream, fstream, string, and forward list. And under that I am defining a struct list which has two members, so string data and list next. So once we have this next only, then we have a singly linked list. But in the case of a doubly linked list, we would have a previous here as well. Since this is a singly linked list, so we are going to define only these two. And after that, in the main program, I am using ifstream to take the contents from an input file, and I am using ofstream to save those into an output file. After that, there are three variables which are of type list, and these I have set to null as well in the second line. And after that, what we are going to do is we are going to define a string line variable, and we are going to use this getline function inside this for loop to take out the contents of our input file, store those into this line string, and then we are going to define this list like this, and we are using its data member, and we are going to make it equal to our these lines which we are getting from here. And then our next member of our iter is going to be null, because we are going to start our list. Then we are going to say if elements equal to null, this is the beginning of our list, and we are going to say node is equal to elements is equal to iterator, right? So this is our iterator line giving us our data. And then we are going to say if we are at the middle of the list, what we are going to do is we are going to say node is equal to node next. We are going to go to the next nodes, and we are going to make those equal to iterator as well. So this way actually we can add the elements at the end of our list. Okay, singly linked list. And after that, what we are going to do is we are going to iterate over those elements. We are going to say here we are going to end this for loop. We have started here, and outside this for loop we are going to start another for loop which is going to iterate over all elements and print those. So we are going to say this variable is equal to beginning of the elements. Then we are going to say go through all the elements not equal to null, and then we are going to say iterator is equal to iterator next, and we are going to use the data member of our iterator to print out those values onto the console window and store those into an output file as well. So after that we are going to delete this, and we are going to make it equal to null as well, and then we are going to say close our both output and input files. So this is our complete program. So let's build around this program. Actually, first I can show you that how I am giving my input file. So these are the four lines, which are strings. Is going to read those. So let's build and run this program. So we are going to see all those four lines onto our console window. So This way we can actually add the elements at the end of our list, singly linked list. Now I am going to show you how we can add the elements at the front or the beginning of our list, not at the end. So actually I can show you one more thing, that we can define here a constructor as well, which is of the name of list, and then we are going to say it is going to have one parameter and it is going to make this t equal to this data, x equal to null, the thing which we are doing here, these three lines. So we can skip these three lines and we can use this constructor like this. So all these three lines function we are going to implement here using the constructor. So this is also another way. So let's build and run this program so that I can show you same functionality. So we can see four lines. And now I am going to actually show you how we can add the elements at the beginning of a singly linked list, a C++ program. Out the line properly first, and now I add the lines. So we are going to again start from the head, which is elements, and we are going to say if it is null, elements is equal to iterator, elements is equal to data, and then we are going to say else. The iterator next is going to be elements and elements is going to be iterator. So this is the way actually we can add the elements at the front of our singly linked list. So let's build and run this program. So now we can see the elements are in the reverse order. So this is going to be get added first, then this one, then this one, and then this one. This is the way we can add the elements at the front of our list. So this is actually the way we can define our own lists, singly linked list. Now I am going to skip out these lines and I am going to use actually the list, the forward list, singly linked list, which is given in the C++ libraries. So we can skip out all these lines we are using, define our list, and now actually we are going to use the forward list given by this library. So we have defined here the elements like this using this library is of type string, and we are going to use this same for loop. Then we are going to add the elements at the front of our list using this front push front function, and we can skip out these lines as well because we are not going to iterate like this, so we can include this line now to iterate over our element. and we can use keep out these lines as well. Now our program is complete. What we are doing is we are actually using this library which is giving us our forward list, which is a singly linked list. Can define it like this, can run the same for loop, and just by adding this line push front over this list variable, we can add the elements into our list, and then we can populate that list using this. So let's build and run this program. So we can see the elements are getting added first at the front, then this one, then this one, and then this one. Now I am going to show you actually how we can add the elements at the end of our list, singly linked list. So we can skip out that line and we can include these lines. So here we are using this auto keyword, and we are going to start from here. Our iterator, we are going to say while iterator next function we are using here for this iterator not equal to elements dot end. So do this iterator plus plus, and then we are going to use this iterator plus plus inside this our inside this insert after function which we are calling on this list, and then we are going to add the variables like this using this iterator. So let's build and run this program. So now you guys can see we are adding the elements at the end of our list like this. So this is pretty much the way we can implement our singly linked list in a C++ program. And now we are going to go to our C sharp program, and I am going to show you the same thing. So in the C sharp program, we are calling this using system library, system.collection library, which is going to give us our strings. And then we are going to say system out, which we are going to use for our stream readers to read the files. And inside this namespace, what we are going to do it, we are going to go inside this class program, and then we are going to say class list. So here we are defining our own list, which is a singly linked list because it has two members, data and next, not the previous member, the third one. And after that we are going to go inside this main program, and we are going to read out the contents of our input file using stream reader. We are going to store into an output file our results as well using stream writer, and inside this we are going to define our list using this list data structure. We are going to define our three variables. We are going to make those equal to null as well. Then we are going to define a string line function. This function we are going to use here like this variable we are going to call on this input file our read line function, and we are going to say read out all the lines, store those inside this line variable. And after that we are going to make our list. This is a variable which we have defined upwards using this list, this one here, and we are going to make our list like this, and we are going to make its data member equal to this line and next equal to null. And after that we are going to add the elements at the end of our list. We are going to say if elements is equal to null, there are no elements at the beginning, then we are going to say node is equal to elements is equal to iterator. and else we are going to say if we are at the middle of our list, we are going to say node is equal to node next, and that is equal to iterator, right? So this iterator is giving us these data lines, and after that we are going to populate our list using this for loop, and iterator is going to be equal to elements, iterator not is equal to null, iterator is equal to iterator next. Console dot write line is going to give our values on our console window, and then the output file. Then we are going to close our both files like this, and this is our complete program. So let's build and run this program actually. So we can see the elements are going to be added at the end of our list like this, those 4 lines. And now I am going to show you that instead of using these 3 lines here, we can make use of our constructor. We are going to say define a constructor here inside this class. Now this constructor has only one parameter, and we are going to say this data member is going to be equal to d, next member is going to be equal to null, and then we are going to define our iterator like this. Now just this single line, and rest of the lines are going to be the same. So let's build and run this program. So we can see adding at the end of our singly linked list. And now I am going to show you how we can add the elements at the beginning of our list instead of at the end. So we are going to include the lines. So we are going to say if elements is equal to null, it is at the beginning. I'm going to say elements is going to be equal to iterator. Then else we are going to say iterator next equal to elements, and elements is equal to iterator. This way actually we can add the elements to the beginning of our list, and now we can see lines are reversed, right? So from the beginning, first we are going to add this line, then this line, then this line, then this line, last line, and then we can populate these lines like this. So this is the way actually we can implement our singly linked list inside a C# program, and then we can add the elements either at the beginning or at the end. But there is no forward list or singly linked list given in a library of a C# program. Just like we saw in the case of a C++ program, there is actually a library given singly linked list as well. So thank you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Have fun.